Back to open, everyone. Don't forget, we're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV and tweet me too while you're there at Rhina Valentin. So we have 14 times, 14 times. Are you listening? 14-time Grammy Award winner, Paquito D'Rivera. He has graced many people with his musical talents over the years, and now the Bronx Arts Ensemble, the Bronx Arts Ensemble, is celebrating his work in Latin jazz as a classical composer. And joining us to tell us more about the upcoming concert, featuring the well-known clarinet and saxophone player Paquito D'Rivera, we welcome Bronx Ensemble Executive Director David Nussenbaum. When I hear 14 times, that is just, I mean, the man is almost like 70 years old and he's still going at it.
He's a legend. He's really, and you know, the thing I'd like to say about Paquito that I admire so much is sometimes I hear of him as the great jazz musician, the great Latino musician, the great classical musician, but you know, the people who really love him realize that he's just a great musician, full stop. I mean, he does it all, and we're just so proud to have him back, and it's a return for him.
It's honorable that for him to be accessible like that. I'm very curious to know the relationship between Bronx Arts Ensemble. So maybe we could start with, let's give a little background on Bronx Arts Ensemble.
Well, we've been busily going through our archives that go back to the 1980s, believe it or not. Now you have to imagine Paquito, who's turning 70, was in his 30s in the 1980s. He had just escaped Cuba. He literally was on tour in Spain and he defected. And we were one of the early organizations to discover this treasure, this genius. And he has performed right here at Lehman multiple times with the Bronx Arts Ensemble. He's performed at Ostos, Van Cortlandt Park. I mean, I have a list here of about, I don't know, I'm just eyeballing about 10 or 12 different performances over the years. You know, as recently as, well, actually, the last performance was about 10 years ago. So this is a return. And he was so gracious. When I said, look, we're starting this thing once a year, we're doing a salon with a famous artist as a fundraiser. And last year we had a wonderful musician, coincidentally another clarinetist, Anthony McGill from the New York Philharmonic. And he said, you know, and this is all a fundraiser for our programs in the schools, for arts education, where we're teaching.
Arts education for the next generation. Let's just share that with everyone so that they understand that this is all like paying it forward and passing it on to the next generation. And they get to see in the flesh a 14-time Grammy Award winner.
So that's our story. Bronx Arts Ensemble has evolved from being purely a performance organization to what is today largely an education organization. So we're teaching in over 40 schools, just about all of them in the Bronx. All of them are public schools, a couple of charter schools. And we have a whole variety of programs, and that's what this fundraiser is all about, because, I mean, we just got through hearing about the Women's March and some of the challenges for women today. And incidentally, you need to wear a pink hat next week, not a black hat.
Thank you for reminding me. I'll probably wear one with ears too. Meow.
But as far as wonderful nonprofits and charities like ourselves, we're also, unfortunately, potentially the victims of some of the new policies that are coming down from Washington. And we depend quite a lot on government funding from the city and the state, but that's affected by Washington policy. So we need to go out to the public in the Bronx with this fundraiser and other fundraiser initiatives to keep our wonderful programs going, not for us, but for the beneficiaries of our programs, which is largely kids.
Right, and the age range of these kids are, it's
K,
full elementary.
K through 12.
12? Oh.
No, we're in a few of the international high schools also, where we do a lot of dance, a lot of music, and we even have some things with Lehman College, sort of educational concerts. So it's the whole gamut, and we really want to bring culture and art to the general public in the Bronx.
Absolutely, and the way we do it is we pass it on. You know, it has to be accessible. That's the key
Absolutely.
word. It needs to be accessible.
Accessible, right.
It shouldn't be exclusive.
Right.
And going leading us back to the Bronx Salon and this event with Paquito D'Rivera, it's open to the public, right?
Right. So let me give you some details about that. So it's on the 28th, which is a Sunday, and it's at the Horace Mann School, which has a lovely little performance space. Horace Mann, for those of you who don't know, is right near the 242nd Street subway line, the Broadway line, just across the street from Van Cortlandt Park. I think it's around 244th Street and somewhere in that area. There's parking as well. It is a fundraiser, so the ticket price is relatively high. It's $125 to raise funds, but in the spirit of trying to broaden the base a little bit, we have a secret for BronxNet viewers. That is that if when you go online, you have to go online, you have to buy your ticket in advance, but if you put in the secret code, ready for this?
Yes.
FOP, Friend of Paquito.
Nice.
Then the ticket will be $80 for you.
Oh, nice.
So I think it's a great way to hear wonderful music. I mean, he just was at Lincoln Center for $400 a ticket. So it's a good deal, relatively speaking. And know that most of that money is going for a worthy cause.
It's a memorable moment.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
So this is great. So, and you guys get to go around saying you're friends of Paquito. FOP.
Right.
Are there any last words you want to share with our viewers?
Well, I did want to mention one other thing I forgot to mention, and that is Paquito is the star of this show. But right behind him are two dear friends and family, both of Paquito and of Bronx Arts Ensemble. Brenda Feliciano is a singer, and she's originally from Puerto Rico, and she happens to be the wife of Paquito. So WOP. And then the great Pablo Zinger, who you've met before, who's done many, many concerts with us. In fact, I think was the gentleman responsible for introducing my predecessor, Bill Scribner, to Bronx Art, to Paquito. Pablo will be playing piano, and he's just fantastic. And some of the pieces and songs are arrangements that were done by Pablo Zinger.
Oh, it sounds like an amazing concert.
Well, I hope you can make it.
I hope I can make it too. Well, I've got 2 weeks to plan, so
right.
It sounds like it.
Don't forget Friends of Paquito.
I know, FOP,
Okay.
FOP.
Right.
I got it. I'm going to be a friend of Paquito. And and you know, it's so funny that you're using acronyms. I'm like, oh, you could tell you work with the next generation.
Well, not by looking at it.
No, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, and thank you so much for always coming here and sharing it with our viewers. Thank
Okay,
you, Executive
thanks, Rhina.
Director
Okay,
David,
thanks.
and you guys. Once again, the Bronx Salon with Paquito D'Rivera. It's taking place on it's taking place January 28th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and that's at the Horace Mann Recital Hall located at 231 West 246th Street in the Bronx. For concert tickets, you can visit bronxartsensemble.org. That's bronxartsensemble.org. And do not forget to use the code FOP, Friends of Paquito. Okay, so we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll take a look at my sit-down interview with New York City Council Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito during her final days in office. Don't go anywhere.